What if the waiting you've endured wasn't absence at all, but preparation for a moment so specific that everything had to align perfectly before it could arrive? What if today, this very day, marks the threshold where the invisible finally becomes tangible in your hands? Today is not just another page torn from the calendar. This is the day when what has been held back in the unseen realm is released into the visible world. This is the day when the proclamation echoes across dimensions. It is finished. If these words are landing deeply within you, there's a clear and intentional way to move forward without scattering your energy. Prosperity revealed in 3 dimensions is a simple yet profound path designed to help you navigate the noise, return to your center, and act with clarity and purpose. This resource brings together practical wisdom and spiritual alignment to guide you toward abundance that matters, wealth with meaning, and prosperity rooted in your true calling. You can explore it through reading or listening, whatever fits the rhythm of your life right now. Everything you need is waiting in the pinned comment and in the description below. Take the time that feels right for you. Now let's return to the heart of what's unfolding today. For so long, you've carried the weight of waiting. Doors that once seemed open suddenly closed. Paths that glowed with promise turned foggy and unclear. Dreams that felt close enough to touch kept drifting further away, like horizons that retreat with every step forward. There were moments when the promise felt like it was dissolving into silence, when you wondered if you'd been forgotten or if the timing would ever come. But silence was never abandonment. Silence was alignment. Every moment of delay was positioning you, refining you, tuning you like an instrument that needed to be ready for the exact moment when the symphony would begin. While you thought you were standing still, you were actually being prepared. While you felt overlooked, you were being sharpened. And now, the moment has arrived. The timing of the universe does not fail. The timing of the divine does not delay. The timing is perfect. And today, the declaration rings clear. Your hour has come. This is not vague encouragement or abstract inspiration. Today, you receive 3 tangible symbols that mark the beginning of a new chapter in your life. The first is the key. The key represents authority and access. It opens doors that have been locked, doors you tried to force open in the past but couldn't budge. The key does not beg or break down barriers. The key simply fits, turns, and opens. Today, doors that seemed unreachable will swing wide before you. The second symbol is the seed. The seed is multiplication. It carries within itself not only what it is now, but everything it can become. A seed looks small and fragile, yet it breaks through soil and defies stone to become a forest. Today, you receive the capacity to multiply everything entrusted to you. The little in your hands will become much. What seemed insufficient will reveal itself as abundant. The third symbol is the weapon. This is not for oppression, but for removing what resists your progress. It is the guarantee that opposition will not have the final word. With it, you conquer doubt, face contrary voices, and dismantle blockages that rise up in your path. Key, seed, and weapon, 3 symbols, 3 powers, 3 signs that the cycle has turned. How will you know this activation is real and not just an idea? Today, clear signs will mark your life. You may receive an unexpected message, encounter someone who seemed distant, experience a vivid dream that brings clarity, or feel unmistakable manifestations in your body, such as warmth, tears, or that deep shiver that announces the presence of something sacred. These signs are not coincidences. They are not random. They are markers that the invisible has become tangible. Today, you will not pass unnoticed. This day will leave its mark on you. Yes, there will be resistance. Doubts will come. People may question your shift. Thoughts of fear will attempt to invade your peace. But do not be deceived. Opposition is not a sign of failure. Opposition is proof of release. The greater the resistance, the greater the confirmation that the promise has already left the invisible realm and is now in your hands. Just as waves intensify when a ship nears the shore, resistance grows stronger when fulfillment is about to touch the ground of your reality. Do not fear opposition. It is merely the echo of a victory that has already happened. The question that rises today is direct, cutting, unavoidable. Are you one of the chosen? Because not everyone will see, not everyone will hear, not everyone will be ready. But the chosen recognize the time. They discern the moment. They feel the vibration. The chosen know that today is not ordinary. If you are one of the chosen, then this is your call to position yourself, to rise, to receive. What does it mean that everything will be placed into your hands? It means that new doors will open in your relationships, that connections that seemed lost will be restored. It means that unexpected resources will reach you, that opportunities will emerge at the exact moment, that ideas will bring clarity where there was once confusion. It means that the mission that seemed clouded will become crystal clear, and that inner peace, once unstable, will now be solid as rock. It means that the weight of the past falls from your shoulders and no longer dictates your steps. It means you are authorized to carry without fear what is yours by promise and design. Today is not theory. Today is possession. Today is not preparation. Today is delivery. Today is not a distant future. Today is present and manifest. In the next 48 hours, your mind and spirit will pass through a process of reconfiguration. It is as if invisible threads are being reconnected, as if spiritual and emotional circuits are being rewired so that the new can establish itself within you. Therefore, guard your thoughts. Be mindful of the voices you listen to. Surround yourself with people who vibrate with your future. Avoid environments that drain your energy. This is a time to protect what has been deposited within you. Over the next 30 days, you will witness practical and irreversible transformations. Relationships will align. Financial flows will open. Opportunities will arise in areas you never imagined. And above all, a solid peace will become the foundation of your life. 30 days that will stand as living testimony that October 8th was not just a date, but the turning point of an entire story. If this is stirring something within you, take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss what unfolds next. Your presence here matters, and staying connected ensures you catch the threads we'll continue weaving together in the days ahead. But remember, this is not only about you. What you receive today does not stop in your hands. It expands in waves. It touches your family. It reaches your descendants. It blesses those who are close to you. You become a catalyst, someone whose very presence awakens others. You become a guardian of light, a living sign that something greater is moving in this time. This is the legacy of the chosen, to receive not only for themselves, but to overflow into many. So how should you position yourself on this day? First, declare with conviction. Say with a firm voice, I am ready, I am worthy, I am capable. It is finished. These words are not just phrases. They are codes. They are keys. They are decrees. They seal within you what has already been released. Second, remain vigilant, not with anxiety, but with full attention. Observe the signs. Recognize the confirmations. Do not let haste steal your perception. Third, act without fear. Follow the positive impulses. Do not postpone the opportunities that arise. Do not ignore the doors that open before you. And finally, share. Do not withhold what you have received. The law of abundance is clear. What flows multiplies. The more you circulate, the more the universe entrusts to your hands. Research into attention and awareness suggests that what we focus on expands, not because of magic, but because our neural pathways strengthen around repeated patterns of thought and action. Early findings in neuroplasticity show that sustained attention can literally reshape the brain's structure over time. This is not a guarantee of overnight transformation, but it offers a framework for understanding why guarding your focus in these critical hours matters so deeply. When you protect your inner environment, you create the conditions for new patterns to take root and flourish. This is where ancient wisdom and modern understanding meet. What you tend to becomes you. Consider the metaphor of the garden. A garden does not shout its growth. It does not announce each root that pushes deeper into the soil. Yet day by day, with patient care and the right conditions, the garden transforms. What you water grows, even in silence. What you neglect withers, even if it once bloomed. Your inner world operates in much the same way. The thoughts you nourish, the environments you choose, the voices you allow into your space, all of these shape the harvest that will emerge in your life. Today is planting day. Today is the moment when seeds long dormant finally meet the conditions they need to sprout. Leave a like if this is helping you see something you couldn't quite name before. That simple gesture helps others who are searching for the same clarity find their way here. There is a quiet detail we often overlook when it comes to transformation. Timing is not just about waiting for the right moment to arrive. Timing is about becoming the person who is ready when that moment appears. The chosen are not chosen because they are perfect. They are chosen because they have been refined through the very trials they thought were breaking them. Each challenge was a crucible. Each loss was a repositioning. Each disappointment was a redirection towards something more aligned with who you truly are. The waiting was not wasted. The waiting was weaving you into the person who could hold what is now being placed into your hands. Think of the mountain. The mountain does not defend its presence. It does not explain itself to the valley or justify its height to the plains. The mountain simply endures. It stands through storms, through seasons, through the passage of countless years. And in that endurance, it becomes a landmark, a place of reference, a symbol of something unshakable. You have been shaped into a mountain. The trials did not defeat you. They made you unmovable. And now, from that place of rootedness, you are being entrusted with authority, with access, with the capacity to multiply and protect what matters most. The ocean teaches us something similar. The ocean never argues its depth. It does not prove itself to the shore. It teaches depth in waves, in rhythms, in the pull and release of tides. There is a rhythm to your life that you may have been resisting, a rhythm that asks you to trust the ebb as much as the flow. Today marks a shift in that rhythm. The tide is turning. What was pulling away is now returning, bringing with it resources, connections, and clarity you could not have manufactured on your own. The ocean does not hurry, yet it always arrives. Turn on notifications if you want to stay tuned to what's coming next. Because the threads we're exploring here run deeper than a single conversation can hold. Let's move from metaphor to lived experience for a moment. Close your eyes if you're in a safe space to do so. Take a slow breath in through your nose, feeling the air descend into your chest and belly. Hold it gently for a count of 3. Then exhale through your mouth, allowing the day to loosen its grip on you. As you breathe, ask yourself one simple question: what wants to be born in me today? Do not force an answer. Do not rush the response. Simply listen. Let the question hang in the quiet space within you. Whatever arises, whether it is a word, an image, a feeling, or simply more silence, honor it. This is not about getting it right. This is about creating space for what is true to emerge. This practice of listening is one of the most underrated skills in a world that prioritizes doing over being. Clinical practice often reveals that people who cultivate even brief moments of inner listening report greater clarity in decision-making, reduced anxiety, and a deeper sense of alignment with their values. This is not because listening solves all problems instantly, but because it shifts the relationship you have with yourself. Instead of treating yourself as a problem to be fixed, you begin to treat yourself as a mystery to be known. And in that shift, something profound changes. Share this with someone who might need to hear it today. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is open a door for someone else to walk through. Now let's address the inner resistance that may be rising even as you read these words. Part of you may be thinking, this sounds beautiful, but is it real? Can this actually happen for me? That doubt is not your enemy. That doubt is a sign that you are taking this seriously, that you are engaging with the possibility rather than dismissing it outright. The chosen do not live without doubt. They live with doubt and move forward anyway. They acknowledge the uncertainty and still choose to step into the unknown. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to act in alignment with what you know to be true, even when fear is whispering a different story. Consider the alchemy of transformation. Alchemy is the ancient art of turning lead into gold, base material into something precious. But the real alchemy is not about external substances. The real alchemy is internal. It is the process of taking the lead of habit, the weight of old patterns, the dullness of routine, and turning it into the gold of attention, the brilliance of presence, the clarity of purpose. You are not broken and in need of repair. You are raw material in the process of refinement. And today, the fire is just hot enough to complete the work. Tell me in the comments which part of this message resonated most deeply with you. Your insight helps shape the explorations we'll dive into next, and I read every word you share. There is a hinge point in every transformation, a moment when everything could tip one way or the other. This is that moment. You are standing at the hinge. On one side is the familiar, the patterns you know, the safety of the predictable, the comfort of staying small. On the other side is the unknown, the call to expand, the invitation to step into what you have been prepared for, the risk of becoming more fully yourself. The hinge does not force you. The hinge simply asks, which direction will you lean? The chosen lean into the unknown. They lean into the discomfort. They lean into the call, even when the voice is quiet and the path is not yet clear. Light does not argue. It does not debate its value or defend its presence. Light simply reveals. When light enters a room, you do not need to explain what has changed. The change is self-evident. Today, you are being invited to become light, not in a grandiose performative way, but in the simple, quiet way of someone who has done the inner work and now carries a different quality of presence. People will notice. Doors will open. Opportunities will align, not because you are forcing them, but because you have become the kind of person who naturally attracts what is aligned with their truth. The breath is one of the most underutilized tools we have for shifting our inner state. Each breath places the soul at the right distance from the world. When you are too close, everything feels overwhelming. When you are too far, everything feels disconnected. But when you find the right distance through the rhythm of your breath, you can engage fully without losing yourself. Several studies in clinical settings indicate that controlled breathing practices can reduce stress markers, regulate the nervous system, and improve emotional resilience. This is not mystical. This is physiological. And yet, it feels mystical because it is so simple and so powerful at the same time. What remains when the noise finally fades? What is left when the distractions fall away and you are alone with yourself? That is where the real work happens. That is where the chosen are forged. Not in the spotlight, not in the applause, but in the quiet, unseen moments when you choose to tend to your inner world, even when no one is watching. Those moments accumulate. They compound, and they become the foundation upon which everything else is built. If you've found value in this today, consider subscribing so we can continue this journey together. There's more to uncover, and your presence here makes it richer. The path clarifies as we walk. This is one of the great paradoxes of growth. We want the entire map before we take the first step. We want certainty before we commit. But life does not work that way. The path reveals itself in response to movement. The next step becomes visible only after you take the current one. The chosen understand this. They do not wait for perfect clarity. They move with the clarity they have, trusting that more will be given as they go. What you contemplate, contemplates you. This is the mirror principle. The energy you direct outward shapes what reflects back to you. If you spend your days focused on lack, scarcity, and limitation, that is what will fill your experience. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because your attention is training you to see only those things. But when you shift your gaze toward possibility, toward abundance, toward the evidence of what is working, your experience shifts as well. This is not about denying reality. This is about choosing which aspect of reality you will amplify with your focus. Dawn says, not everything is over. No matter how dark the night has been, dawn always comes. This is not optimism. This is fact. The earth turns, the sun rises, and with it, everything becomes possible again. Today is your dawn. This is the moment when the long night of waiting gives way to the first light of fulfillment. And in that light, you will see what has been hidden, you will find what has been lost, and you will receive what has been promised. The weapon you have been given is not a weapon of violence. It is a weapon of truth. It is the capacity to speak clearly, to set boundaries firmly, to protect what is sacred within you. For too long, you may have allowed voices that do not serve you to have access to your inner world. Today that changes. Today you are authorized to guard the gate, to say no to what diminishes you, to say yes only to what aligns with your highest good. This is not selfishness. This is stewardship. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You cannot give what you do not have. And so, protecting your peace, your energy, your focus is not optional. It is essential. Fire returns what is essential. Fire consumes what is excess. Fire purifies. You may feel like you have been through fire in recent months or years. You may feel like everything that could burn has already burned. But what remains is what is real. What remains is what cannot be taken from you. And from that place of essential truth, you will rebuild. Not from scratch, but from strength. Not from lack, but from foundation. The garden metaphor returns here with new meaning. What you tend to becomes you. But tending is not forcing. Tending is not controlling. Tending is showing up consistently, providing the right conditions, and trusting the natural process of growth. You do not make a seed grow. You create the environment in which growth is inevitable. The same is true for your life. You do not force transformation. You align with the conditions that make transformation natural. And today, those conditions are more favorable than they have been in a long time. Shadow is not absence. Shadow is a room waiting to be entered. There are parts of yourself you have kept in the dark, aspects of your story you have not wanted to face, truths you have avoided because they felt too heavy to carry. But the shadow does not go away by ignoring it. The shadow grows more powerful in the dark. It is only when you turn toward it, when you enter that room with a candle in your hand, that you discover the shadow was never your enemy. It was a guardian. It was holding something precious until you were ready to reclaim it. Today, you are ready. What light wants to enter your life now? This is the question the chosen ask themselves daily. Not what do I need to achieve, not what am I lacking, but what light is trying to break through. What wants to be seen? What wants to be known? What wants to be lived? When you frame your life around receiving rather than striving, everything shifts. You stop exhausting yourself trying to make things happen and start noticing what is already trying to happen through you. The clock measures outer time, but inner time listens. Outer time is linear. It ticks forward in predictable increments. But inner time is circular, layered, mysterious. A single moment can contain lifetimes. A single breath can undo years of tension. Today, you are being invited to live more from inner time than outer time. To trust the rhythm of your own unfolding rather than the pace demanded by the world around you. This is not about opting out of responsibility. This is about reclaiming your sovereignty over how you inhabit your life. Your comment below matters more than you might think. When you share what this brought up for you, you're not just engaging with content, you're participating in a collective awakening. Drop your thoughts and let's learn from each other. What are you ready to release so something truer can begin? This is one of the most important questions you can ask yourself at a threshold moment like today. Transformation is not only about addition, it is also about subtraction. It is about letting go of what no longer serves, even if it once did. It is about releasing identities that fit in the past but are too tight now. It is about making space for what is trying to emerge by clearing out what is cluttering the way. Where does your attention want to rest tonight? This is a gentle question to close your day with. Not where should your attention be, but where does it want to rest? When you stop forcing and start listening, you will find that your attention knows where it needs to go. It knows what needs tending. It knows what has been neglected. Trust that knowing. Follow that pole. It will not lead you astray. What would your day look like if you moved from center, not noise? Imagine waking up and instead of immediately reaching for your phone, you took 3 deep breaths and asked yourself what truly matters today. Imagine making decisions not based on urgency or external pressure, but based on alignment with your deepest values. Imagine ending your day not with exhaustion, but with the quiet satisfaction of knowing you lived from your center. This is not a fantasy. This is a possibility available to you right now. Who are you when no one is asking you to perform? This is the question that cuts through all pretense. Who are you when the masks come off? When the roles fall away? When the expectations dissolve? That is the person the universe is calling forward today. That is the person who has been waiting for permission to exist fully. And today, that permission is granted. Not by anyone outside of you, but by you, to you, for you. What is quietly asking for your care? Maybe it is a relationship that has been on hold. Maybe it is a creative project that has been waiting in the wings. Maybe it is your own body, your own heart, your own spirit that has been neglected while you tended to everyone and everything else. Today is the day to turn your care inward and outward in equal measure. To honor what has been asking for your attention and finally give it the space it deserves. If you trusted your breath, what would you choose? Breath is the bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, between the voluntary and the involuntary. When you trust your breath, you are trusting the intelligence of your body, the wisdom of your nervous system, the guidance of something deeper than thought. If you paused right now and took 3 slow breaths and then asked yourself what you truly need in this moment, what would the answer be? That answer is worth listening to. What would change if you honored what you already know? You know more than you think you do. You have wisdom buried beneath the noise, beneath the doubt, beneath the conditioning. Today is about trusting that knowing. It is about acting on what you already sense to be true, even if you cannot fully explain it. The chosen do not wait for permission from others to honor their inner knowing. They give themselves permission. And in that act of self-authorization, everything begins to shift. Where is the next small door? You do not need to see the entire staircase. You just need to see the next step. You do not need to understand the whole journey. You just need to find the next small door and walk through it. Today, that door is here. It is open, it is waiting. And on the other side is everything you have been prepared to receive. What if this is enough to begin? You do not need more information. You do not need more time. You do not need more resources. What you need is already within you and around you. Today you have the key, the seed, and the weapon. Today you have the clarity, the courage, and the call. Today everything is placed into your hands. The only question left is, will you receive it? Now listen closely, because this is the hinge moment. The universe is not delaying any longer. The future is not tomorrow. The future is now. And when you proclaim with faith and conviction, October 8, 2025, everything has come into my hands. It is finished. That will not be just a phrase. It will be an act of power, a seal in the spirit, a proclamation that changes your identity, that closes one cycle and opens another, a mark that cannot be erased. Today, the chosen do not only receive, they step into their mission. They become living witnesses that the promise does not fail, that the waiting was never wasted, that the universe keeps its word. Today, they carry within themselves the key, the seed, and the weapon. Today, they know they no longer walk with expectation, but with possession. Today, they say to the world and to the unseen, it is finished, it is yours. It is now. The chosen ones have always walked a different path. Throughout history, in every tradition, in every culture, there have been those who could hear what others could not, who could see beyond the surface of things, who could feel the subtle currents of change before they became obvious to everyone else. You are part of that lineage. You carry that sensitivity. And today, October 8th, 2025, that sensitivity becomes your greatest asset. Because while others are distracted by the noise of the world, you are tuned to the frequency of transformation. While others are chasing what glitters, you are drawn to what glows from within. This is not arrogance. This is recognition. This is you finally acknowledging what has always been true. You were built for more than survival. You were designed for significance, but significance does not mean fame. It does not mean external validation or public recognition. Significance means living in alignment with your deepest truth. It means making choices that honor the wisdom within you rather than the pressure around you. It means being a presence that shifts the atmosphere of every room you enter, not because you demand attention, but because you carry peace. And peace, true peace, is magnetic. It draws what belongs to you and repels what does not. Today, you step fully into that magnetic field. The 48-hour reconfiguration begins now. You may feel disoriented. You may feel like old structures are crumbling while new ones have not yet fully formed. This is normal. This is necessary. You are in the space between what was and what will be. This is the sacred threshold. Do not rush through it. Do not try to force clarity before it's time. Simply breathe. Simply trust. Simply remain open to what wants to reveal itself. The universe is not withholding from you. The universe is preparing you to hold more than you have ever held before.